So we want to know what was the instructional strategy used and the content of that, but also how would we communicate that to a teacher? Because as we talked about in the past, both are equally important.
Evaluator calibration is essential for ensuring all educators participate in a consistent and fair evaluation experience.
So if I see a lesson and Mo sees the same lesson, it's important that we give the same type of feedback so that I don't go in and see a lesson and give it great reviews, and then Mo goes in and sees the same lesson and gives it poor reviews. It's giving the teacher a mixed message.
One of the benefits of having a consistent focus on building evaluator skill over time has been that when we get together and practice our observational skills, there's a stark difference between where we were when we started and where we are now.
Every first-year administrator gets professional development about observing and analyzing teaching. So we start off with the same base, and then we have monthly cabinet meetings. Assistant principals and principals can get together and they can do walkthroughs together and talk about the feedback.
To create common language and understanding around educator effectiveness, many evaluators observe classroom practice in pairs or groups and then collaboratively unpack and reach consensus about what they observed.
This year, we've actually, through the district and leadership team, they've implemented district learning walks, which has been extremely helpful. Just giving us the time to get together and talk about what we're looking at, and having those conversations has been very good in trying to get us to become on the same page.
We've actually gone through classrooms, had the conversations afterwards, and then gave the feedback so that we can kind of calibrate and see, what are you looking at, what am I looking at, and is there a mixed message that we're getting, or is it something that we're seeing common things, and what do we need to change from there?
There are certain things that, regardless of what classroom you go in, are good teaching practice, and I think some of those things that we expect is, positive reinforcement and, a well-planned classroom and good classroom management and student engagement. So some of those things, the class could be Mandarin Chinese, and you might not even understand a word that's going on, but you can tell if kids are engaged in the content, and you can tell if kids are interacting positively with the teacher and if they're getting proper feedback. So, some of those things are important to learn across the board.
Okay, now is that a reflection across into the second quadrant? Yeah.
Calibration activities with video, followed by guided discussion and reflection, also help build a common understanding of what high-quality instruction looks like and how to provide meaningful feedback.
So what we do in DILT meetings, or District Instructional Leadership Team meetings, is we watch a video and we practice and we get better. And we get better by looking at the range of responses that we see, picking out exemplary responses, but also from the discussions about why we would offer different levels of feedback or different comments to teachers. What question do you want to ask the teacher that's going to help both them reflect and you learn more about their teaching style, and also a recommended next step or next steps based on something you saw, again, citing the evidence. And the video works well because it's a large group, our district instructional leadership team. It wouldn't work for all of us necessarily to go in a room and be able to practice that. I think it would be hard for a teacher.
I think, is your question, Talib, really saying, so how do you know what the kids understand?
Where's the evidence of understanding? So we engage our administrators in activities where they look at each other's feedback to teachers in small groups, and administrators give each other feedback on what aspects of the feedback are effective and what things they might change. One of them was the focal administrator, and the focal administrator was required to sit quietly and listen as the other three discussed the feedback that the focal administrator had given to a teacher.
As a teacher reading this, I would actually really love it because there's a very clear picture of, I get the excitement in the class because he's talking about this sort of multi-sensory approach. The only bit of feedback I would have is just, I find the language to be a little, I needed a thesaurus.
I don't disagree with getting through the first few sentences as, noting those are the first things a teacher's going to read, and maybe just starting with this, and that, because that really was the meat of what you were highlighting, and that it was something really good that was happening in the classroom.
I thought this was good, the same thing. He had a claim like this was an effective strategy, and then he backed it up with the evidence. So I thought that was really good.
The more we focus, I think the more we have to calibrate. The more we continue this work and hone in on the really important things, the better the teachers are going to be, the better the student outcomes are going to be.